Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And today flight it will be from Trondheim, Norway, with Scandinavian airline systems on Airbus A320, and we are currently flying just a short flight to Sandefjord, which is on the south of the Oslo city. It's a small airport, but anyway. Um, I will try to make this video like in professional way. Okay, I am real captain of Boeing 737, but I am not Airbus pilot, so I will make it with my own procedures. And if you do not like these procedures, just leave me a comment and tell me what's wrong, why I didn't use, for example, this procedure, because your systems in Airbus doesn't allow this, especially when I are watching the Airbus pilot. So I take it just the fun, and I go through the all flight cooperation manual and as well as CBT of the Airbus, so I'm fully aware of the systems. But anyway, so well, regarding to our flight, if we are going to take it with a professional way, we have to do the briefing. The briefing can be made either in the hotel, airplane, and if you have hub on the airport, so you can make a briefing on your briefing room, own briefing room. Okay. So that means that you are printing all of the documentations on board and so on and so on. Some of the companies has the Wi-Fi antenna and received all the informations, but you have to be prepared for many of reasons, and many of how to say you have to be prepared well within your destination and destination alternate airport regarding snow terms, long-term TAF, for example, significant weather charts, and so on and so on. What I personally don't care about the FIR NOTAMs, because this is the responsibility of flight dispatcher. That's okay. So let's go to the cockpit, and now as we are on the cockpit, so we can make a briefing. Okay, that's the first. First of all, we need to open the doors. Okay, and the briefing must consist with at least 3 persons: captain, first officer, and senior crew member. How much crew members has your airplane? It's strictly adhered to European Safety Agency procedures, and it means that it's not relying with your, for example, if you have 1 passengers, you still need to have, for example, 4 crew members. Okay, if you have full airplane, 4 crew members. It's according to the seating capacity of your airplane. So let's jump to the cockpit, and I will get rid of this one. So what's the first? The first of all, the ground staff will come into the cockpit, and I used another time, so that's why you can see the yellow numbers, and as you can see, but that's okay. Okay, regarding to all the stuff. Okay, so maintenance personnel, it's going through the airplane, checking the systems and doing their jobs. For example, make update to FMC database, or let's say some system is working, it's repaired, so push the circuit breakers and get rid of this. According to this situation, we have 3 items on board, or let's say 3 books. First book is journey tag log. It's some kind of logbook. If you have the private pilot license, or if you have this commercial pilot license, you have your own logbook and you write your flights there, and the airplane has the same, but there is written additional information like such a system failure and so on. Then we have CDL. What does it mean? It's configuration deviation list. Okay, so in this case we can find what's wrong. We have the load sheet. We have the hold item list. What is a hold item list? Hold item list, it's the paper sheet, and you can see that, for example, if your AP is inoperative, it has to be repaired via minimum equipment list inserted time. So it's written right over there that, hey, man, you have inoperative APU, and the time in which you have to repair the APU, it's, for example, 12 calendar days. Okay, so if it is not repaired, there is no go item. Okay, so we are not allowed to go. So now we are on the GPU. I put the GPU off, okay, because it's lower temperature. Put the cargo compartment into the open position. As you can see, right from this side, I am not as sophisticated as you, which are you flying the flight simulator, but I am from real life, so for me it's hard to understand it, how it looks, for example, ground service equipment and so on and so on, and basically that's okay. So what we need to check now, this is the flight simulator option. Okay, so that's okay, and now we are going to the briefing. Okay, so we'll import from the sim brief, and as you can see, this is the operational flight plan. Do not mess it with ATC flight plan, okay? Because the ATC flight plan go through EFP validations, Eurocontrol, and this is your operational flight plan, which should contain the same data as your ATC flight plan. So first of all, we need to check the correct date. Okay, so this is our flight number, and right now I will stop a little bit more and I will try to explain it. It's completely different flight plan number and ATC call sign regarding to your in Airbus it's called MCDU, okay? In Boeing it's CDU, control display unit, but it's the same, it's the equal, okay? You have to check the registration number. As you can see, I have Lima November Romeo Golf India, and if you watch from the outside, we have different registration number. So in this case, we'll call to dispatch, and within dispatch, we have to let's say ask for additional flight plan because it doesn't match our conditions. Why? Because I will tell you later on. Different airplane with different history and in certain stage of age has the different performance characteristics. That's why I always have to check the operational flight plan. You have now blog off, blog on time. Okay, so you have standard time of the arrival. This is the pages which is related in order to make your flight accurate. Okay, cost index, it's basically, you know, what is it? So you may make your flight economical. Estimated takeoff weight. Now this is quite interesting because this is the estimated weight. Okay, well, it's fine. Okay, as you can see, we are far below the limit, but do not mess it with performance takeoff weights. Okay, so anyway, alternate, we have Oslo, we have flight level 370, overhead pivot point, we have step climb to flight level 380. These are the numbers, and now I will stop explaining and tell you the block fuel. It's 4,300 kilograms. It's not true. It's incorrect naming. It should be minimum block fuel. If you add additional for piloting command extra, for example 5 tons, then you have block fuel. Okay, this is the FMC fuel, and now we have to realize if we are below the FMC reserve fuel, we have to declare minimum status fuel. As we are reaching the final reserve, we have to declare the Mayday code. Okay, right now MLCD items. Okay, these are the penalties and savings for the fuel if you change the flight level. This is the 140 passengers on board, 3.5 tons. It's not cargo. Okay, once again incorrect naming in sim brief. It is the checked baggage. Okay, 3.5 tons. Because you are carrying passengers, you are not carrying cargo. You are not cargo fly. Okay, so that's it, and then we can go to weather. As you can see in Trondheim, everything is perfect, everything is good. Overhead, Sandefjord, we have no clouds depicted, -7 degrees of centigrade. This is the information which is related for us, and well, Boeing and Airbus says that everything what is below you have add cold temperature error, but to your altimeter setting, but or let's say to your FMC database. But anyway, if it is up to -10, the companies are disregarding these conditions, so we are expecting the snow showers of and this is our routing. And as you can see, we have point number 1, and point number 1 means that we should have all the flight medium turbulence. Okay, and now we are going to the NOTAMs. What NOTAM says, oh, that's okay, that's okay. So Trondheim, it's quite okay. We have Victor Delta Foxtrot unserviceable. I guess it is the NDB. I don't know. We'll check it later on. ENTO, Sandefjord. Everything okay. Taxiway between Bravo and Yankee north of DI apron closed. Oslo Garden Moen, it's okay. Clue alert. This is something which I didn't realize in real life, so I will skip it later on. So we can go to Navigraph charts, and we can put it like this one, and now we may start the preliminary procedure. So the battery is on. That's absolutely perfect. Navigation lights on, because we are making walk around, and for walk around you have to have the navigation lights on. In Airbus it's quite okay that you may start the IRS into align position with the battery only. Okay, so this is not the case of the Boeing 737. Gear down, 3 greens, engine master panel, it's okay. That's quite fine. Flap stowed. speed brake stowed, that's absolutely okay. Now we'll perform the fire test, because if you would like to start with the APU, you need to know that your APU, its APU fire detection loops are okay. So basically it's okay, so we will start the APU. I'm deeply apologizing to you that I don't have the GSX or something like that, and animated passengers or everything like this stuff, but for me it's enough, and I'm fully focusing into the real world operations and all the stuff which is going around. If you are a piloting command, you have to take care of the handling agent. This is the first person you will communicate, and he or she will communicate with all the ground personnel, like baggage loaders, okay, like a fuel truck driver, and so on and so on. But it's sometimes it's not true, so you have to refill the airplane in yourself. What I'm doing now, I just put the blower off because of annoying sound. But anyway, in real life, do not do so, because it cool down your flight instruments, and yeah, well, that's the case. Okay. Anyway, you have to take care of maintenance personnel. You have to take care of the cabin crew. And now I will do something which is um, out of the normal way. Okay, so it's just the flight simulator. I will need to put it like now. That's okay. So perfect. You've got it. And now in Airbus, the system scan flow procedure is valid for Airbus and Boeing, but it's done in different ways. So crew oxygen, it's okay. As you can see, 180 psi, so that's perfect. Cockpit voice recorder and press test, that's okay. And now we are going here. With the arm switches, that's okay. Strobe lights to auto position if we forget about to set it. And once the APU will be stabilized, we put it into the APU bleed. But so far we can press the test and check the engine number 1, check the APU as well. Okay, on the ACAM page, check the APU, check the engine number 2, lead up the cargo systems, and I will get rid of this VHF3 navigation radio. Anyway, so we can put the APU on bleed, and we'll warm up the cabin for the passenger comfort. And now we are going down, and 1 to 2 decimal 8. And 1 to 1 decimal 5. It's okay. GCS means that it's ground scanning, so it will filter your ground when you have adjusting the tilt antenna. For example, like this one, you can have the ground reflections, and this is not the case that you have bad weather. Okay, so predictive wind shear warning off, and transponder standby 2000, doors are unlocked. That's absolutely perfect. We'll check the parking brakes right now. It's okay, but before you're checking the parking brakes, you have to ensure that you're on chokes. Okay, And now we can go up to the constraints, and basically that's it. Well, another situation is to check the circuit breakers, gear pins, and so on and so on. Airbus pilots know what is the proper way how to check it, so basically that's okay. Anyway, so we can fill the FMC. As you can see, we have the alternate Oslo Garden mode, and right now we have to set the cost index of 6, cruising level 370, and now you can see the outside air temperature is -51, but we have troposol level at 260, so it doesn't make sense, these two numbers, okay, in real life. So in this case, I will go down, and as you can see, the temperature is -49. Perfect. IRS is align with our position. We have Scandinavian 6 Lima, and now, as you can see, the flight number, it's not flight number, it's call sign. It's again something which is different, something which is let's say hard to understand with the Boeing and the Airbus as well, because your call sign is going directly to the ATC, and ATC is transmitting in. So if you put the flight number, you have wrong ATC call sign, because it's going like this ATC panel. So well, that's it. So wind conditions, we can request the wind. Okay, and now we have the flight plan. We have Utuna Point, and if you look at the chart, we have 080, okay? So 090 will be our departure runway. Utuna 1 Alpha, it's the last one. So insert, and now the secondary flight plan in case we have the engine failure. So okay, it's okay. And now we put to Trondheim back IL09, and that's it, mainly because if you see the flight plan, we have the point which are correlated to extended central line, but basically it's okay. What we need to check right now is the on Navigraph charts, and we have approach, okay, IL09er, and as you can see, no, we don't have the NDB, so that's absolutely perfect. So we can go to departure now on alpha, and transition, it's okay, GNS is required, that's okay. Varnas ground tower, it's not applying for us right now. Initial climb clearance is 6,000 feet. So now it is basically okay, and we may start let's say boarding. boarding with the refueling, as you know, it's on some airports prohibited, so that's why I put the fasten belts into the off position. Okay, so we will start the boarding. And as I said before, we put 5,000 kilograms, and we'll start boarding with fast procedure. This will connect to ground personnel, that's okay. I will check once again because I guess it is the NDB right over here. So ILS localizer. Yes, it's Varnas. You never know when you have to use it, so leave it within this situation overhead. And what the next? Okay, so secondary flight plan we have, radio navigation we have, but I will need to check it again once with the NOTAMs, and VDF is unserviceable, so okay, it's unserviceable, but we'll leave it like this one, okay? So right now, what's the situation? The situation is that we have, according to the SNOWTAM, runway contaminations with braking actions medium/poor. On 100% of the runway it's contaminated, and it's 3 meters of dry snow. But if I check it properly with the proper way, it's basically okay. It's okay, and aprons are sanded, so there are millimeter snow. It's basically okay. But what we do not have in the flight simulator in this situation is friction coefficient from medium to good. So we are going to be on the conservative side. So we will use the wet contaminated runway data. However, the contaminations, it's divided into those that are affected the acceleration and deceleration, and those who are affected the deceleration only. And in this case we have to use the friction coefficient runway data, but we are not we do not have it, so well, that's it. Okay, so fasten belts to on position, that's quite okay. We will see how it is going with the boarding. Okay, so as we are boarding through one doors with the breach, like over here, so we have plenty of time. In this case I will put the FMC, and right now, if you can see, this is the change code, okay, and it affects your idle and performance. So the older the airplane is, the higher the numbers are. So but this is only or access to this to this part of the MCDU as the only maintenance personnel. Okay, so well, that's it. So we're still waiting, and what I have to tell you later. Ah, basically it's okay. So as you can see, the baggage is loaded, and the runway seems to be dry. Okay, with 3 meters of snow, that's basically nothing. So we will use the dry runway conditions. But if we look at the Jefferson charts, okay, I know it's boring all the theory, but if you would like to know how it goes with the real life, so just follow me. Okay, so we have parking stands and coordinates. That's okay, and this is the de-icing area. So we'll go to general part. There is noise abatement procedure. Basically nothing. Run up tests, auxiliary power. We should use it because we are within the temperature range. That's okay. And okay, departure de-icing. This is what we are going to look for. De-icing on platforms Mike 1 Alpha or Mike 1 Bravo for the reference code of C. Okay, Boeing 737 is for C code. Okay, so that means that fire category and the length of the airplane, it's according to the table for C. Anyway, we are boarding completed. Advise tower when the icing is needed. Okay, so as you can see, we have this part. So but we are departing from runway 09, so we'll make the de-icing and coming here, and then we are going here. Imagine that during the night it was the snowy conditions, and we have contaminated fuselage and wings as well. So 58.8 will be our zero fuel weight, and zero fuel CG will be 39.9. That's okay, and 5 ton will be the block fuel, and I'll let the computer to make his job. And now we are going to the back, and as you can see, we have 700 kilograms to Oslo alternate and 17 minutes. Now it's the discrepancy because we have 28 minutes and 400 kilograms. So which one is higher? So on the conservative side, so 0.7. That means that we are going to use we are going to use 700 kilograms for Oslo Gardermoen Airport. And now watch, we have approximately 30 extra time for holding. Okay, but as I will put it like this one, we have 10 minutes less, and that's what we were looking for. So as I said before, assume that the runway is dry, so basically 3 millimeters of snow is okay. I will check it once again, the snow time, dry snow, dry snow. Well, uh, there is some contaminations bit below the dry snow. So in this case, we will use runway 09er and wet contaminations in order to ensure the accelerator stop distance available is okay. So pegs on, and if you have contaminated runway on Airbus, it's not like in Boeing. In Boeing, when you have contaminations on the runway, you may still use the D-rate, but you are not allowed to use the assumed temperature. In Airbus, you have to use the toga. Okay, so synchronize with load sheet, synchronize with weather, and calculate it. It's 115 as you can see, so 115 and 140. 140, we use NADP2 procedure, okay, and in this case we have toga down, flaps 1 down 04, okay, so flaps 1 down 04, and basically that's it, and we are good to go. So what are we going to do right now? As you can see, we have all passengers on board. We put this chart, we close the doors and ask for the clearance. Once the clearance is received, before asking the clearance, the squawk mode Charlie must be presented, and in FCOM it says when it's in auto position, the squawk mode Charlie it's automatically done when engine number 2 it's working. So basically that's it, and we may start the fuel pumps. Okay, that's perfect. Beacon lights, doors are closed, everything we have set up, that's quite perfect. So we may start for pushback. So once again, parking brake is set, brake pressure is okay, so we may release the chokes, connect to the pushback car. Okay, we have to wait a little bit until the pushback car is aligned. It's flight simulator, okay, purpose. So now we are connected. So we may release the parking brakes and start the pushback. Okay, that's fine. Engine number 2 and start the block time. Okay. The difference between in journey tail log, it must be written that what is your block time and flight time. Okay, the flight time basically it's used uh, it's used for releasing companies and just for information into put into the logbook the right numbers for you. And as well we have the block time, and block time is always measured when first start of the engine or when you start the pushback until you shut down the engines. Okay, flight time it's measured from takeover roll to vacating over the runway. So right now we can start the engine number 1. And now it will be situation quite tricky because I am not familiar with this airport and I don't know where the de-icing stands are. So yeah, okay, we'll stop the pushback. Okay, and now what is the problem? The problem is that in real life the ground handling agent which is connected to an external jet to your airplane shouldn't be disconnected until you have all and stable good both engines. Okay, and now you have to wait for the guy with the gear pin waving uh, on the proper side. Now, what is the problem? You think that it will be quite okay to make it boom boom flaps 1 and so on and so on. It's not true. Okay, so what do you have to do? Airplane it's frozen from previous night conditions, which was snowing or freezing rain or something like that. So we just leave the APU off, let the APU stable, and make it auto brake to max, and all the things will leave behind. Okay, we just arm the speed brakes. Okay, and that's it. And now we can set the taxi lights. While you are making the walk around, okay, left side clear, right side clear. While you are performing walk around, you need to check the brakes because there are the discs and they can be frozen as well. So you need to apply the fluid on the brakes as well. So the winter operation, it's a very complex situation. What type of fluid are you using? If you have to use the hydromechanical units, and so on and so on. And sometimes it can happen that if you have serious contaminations of the runway, you have problem with your payload, because your payload, which you allow to carry on board, should be lower, for example, within let's say 5 tons, but it's quite well. So Alpha 4, so this is Alpha 6, strange situation because we have alpha 6, okay, alpha 6, and now, okay, um, we have to go through the bus, okay. I'm sorry, man. And now as we are approaching to the mic alpha 1, which is the icing point, put the um, lights to off condition, because in order not to shine the personal, here should be the marshaller, and now we can switch off the APU, okay. And now okay, like this one, if you are I will stop the airplane on the parking position right now, and I will tell you something from real life regarding to the de-ice or anti-ice. You know what is the icing procedure, and you know what is the anti-ice procedure. And regarding to the procedure, sometimes you hardly find it on the maps. Okay, so you have to ask the ground personnel how the ice looks like. Okay, so you are allowed to do it on the stand, or you have remote de-icing area. Right now we have the remote de-icing area, and for Oslo Gardermoen we have remote de-icing areas with certain frequencies. That's why it's on Jeppesen charts written that you have to contact them before or in order with the delivery clearance. Okay, so right now I will try to find somewhere in my PC what is the icing procedure within Airbus R320, because I'm not Airbus pilot, and we'll see. But okay, so right now, before applying the fluid, cabin pressure mode selector check to auto position. So, cabin mode selector in auto position. That's quite okay, that's perfect, okay. Another situation, engine number 1 and 2 bleed to off position. Okay, off position. And APU bleed off. We have ditching PB on. Ditching PB, okay, so this is this condition. Now, why? Because if you are ditching PB in off position, and as you can see the pressurization, the outflow valve is closing. Okay, so there is no fluids which are going to the outflow valve. That's why ditching PB it's in off position, and after the icing we'll check it later on. Okay, so that's perfect. Thrust levers check in idle, aircraft prepare for spraying in for ground personnel. Okay, so right now we have to apply the fluids. Okay, and once this is done, so we have to in real life you open the doors. Okay, I will do not do so, and you sign the paper sheet, and you agree that your de-icing was completed. We don't need to use the engine, sorry, the anti-ice, because as you can see we have sailing and visibility okay, we have no freezing rain or snowy conditions, so de-icing it's only the way how we are performing on this flight. Okay, so come back to the after the icing procedure and ditching PB to off position. Okay, so make it like this one, and as you can see the outflow valve it's opening. Okay, it's going to full open position. It makes sense. Okay, and now outflow valve checked open. That's what we have done just right now. Engine number 1 and 2 into on position. That's perfect. Ground equipment remove, de-icing, anti-icing report received. That's what I was talking about 1 minute before. Okay. Resume normal procedures, and that's it. So we have successfully de-iced the airplane, and right now we will check the flight controls. So flight controls was checked, everything is okay. So what we can do right now, put the master into the ignition and start, okay, and put engine anti-ice on 1 or 2 because there is snow on the taxiway. Okay, so in this case we have to use the engine anti-ice, and well, right now we check the charts, Utuna 1 Alpha 1 Bravo, and we can make a taxi. Okay, so taxi light switch to open position, parking brake released, and now we are good to go. Okay, so we have left side clear, we have right side clear, everything is okay, and cabin is ready for departure. So terrain on pilot monitoring side, and weather radar on pilot flying side. Okay, so we have ACAM blue. That's why, because the snow from the apron shouldn't contaminate our gap between leading edge device and the wing. That's why I am not using the flap settings. Okay, right now. I can put the transponder in auto position because right now it's depicted on Charlie or squawk mode S. Okay, so new QNH 1015. It's absolutely okay. As you can see, we have snow contaminates, and yeah, well, I'm pretty sorry about the situation, but in real life, you have to taxi mm, much more slower in order to avoid some skew on the left on the right side. So it's my fault because it's simulator and it doesn't simulate the friction coefficient. Okay, so anyway. Okay, so we are approaching the holding point. We'll stop the airplane. Perfect. Left side is clear, right side is clear. So line up procedure. So that means that we have T only. So transponder is set, and we have flaps 1. So put the flaps to 1 position. Just check if it is in green line, that's okay, and press take off configuration, that's okay. So what we can do, strobe lights, landing lights, and that's it. And basically okay, once we are on the runway, so we can put the flight time. We can make it rolling takeoff, so 50% stabilized. In Boeing 737 it's 40% stabilized, and now make it via toga, and there we can go. So we have V1, and now rotate. So positive rate gear up. Autopilot engaged. We are safely departing, so that's absolutely perfect. Okay, as you can see, we are climbing quite well. Okay, so pull the climb thrust, and let's say that we are going via progress page to flight level 370. Now we may start to accelerate. We can put the engine anti-ice off because we don't need it. We need it on the ground because surface on the ground was contaminated, and right now it's basically okay, so that's it. So flaps up. We have some speed restrictions, 2 to 0 on piece point. We have flaps up, no lights. We can stow the speed brakes. Would I forget to put it onto the VHF number 1? It's just a short flight, so so in this case we'll be talking more. Okay, so we have transition altitude, so press standard. What I didn't mention to forget about, when we are APU available and APU with good quality, it's distribution the power into the transfer buses. We can switch off the battery 1, battery 2, and as you can see, the essential bus. If I don't forget about it, I will do it on the ground. So in some Airbuses there are grid altitudes right over here and right over there, so that's okay. In this Airbus it's no grid altitude, so that's okay. Okay, so we have passing flight level 100, so put the lights to off position. Well, in real life we adjust the cabin temperature, but as you can see we have pretty cool temperatures, 26, 25, so it's not needed to do it anymore, so well, that's okay. So, according to our flight plan, if you wish to make a step climb over the pivot point, so let's go to flight plan, step altitudes, and as you can altitude, okay, so it's Y380 slash and the name the point, okay, so it's pivot. But again, it's unnecessary because our tropopause level was only flight level 200, so well, we'll check it, okay? Assume that we are making a test flight. Okay, so we can release the cabin crew. we are established on the en route climb speed. And we will see how is the atmosphere modeled in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so well, right now we are passing flight level 200, and from flight level 200 it shouldn't be rising with the temperature. So we have static air temperature. As you can see, this is the computed temperature. Okay, this is the temperature what is showing to you with the pitted probe, and this is the temperature what is computed in case you are not flying and without the friction coefficient within the high speed approved. So we have minus 52. So we will see if you're climbing high, if this temperature will be the same or will be lower on or higher. Okay, and now you can see it's minus 50 degrees of centigrade. Why? Because the tropopause level was only 200. Okay, flight level 200, and it starts to be lower and lower. So As it is a short flight, we may start to prepare for our descent. So the way how you catch the VHF frequency for it is information is approximately 200 nautical miles, but anyway, if you have the telecommunication or ACARS, you can make it much more sooner, but it doesn't make sense because the runway could change and things could change. So anyway, okay, so we put 200 nautical miles, and as you can see, so we are able to catch the frequencies. First of all, clear the Varnas, okay. In secondary flight plan, delete the secondary flight plan. We don't need it. We don't use it anymore. And right now, what's important to check into our flight plan, we have last point, which is BAMX. Okay, so go to Navigraph charts and go to arrival, and here we should have the BAMX point somewhere over here. Sorry, it's Trondheim. All the radio navigation aids was serviceable, so that means that we can make it with the ILS if there is any. Okay, so we have 180 and 36. It's basically crosswind component, so well, with this crosswind component we can make it, but from the real life I know that the airplane is pretty unstable and it's not good option. So maybe we'll burn much more fuel, but anyway, we'll be on the safe side if we are using not a runway, which is depicted right over here. So that means that 18, but ILS runway 16. So ILS 16, and we have arrival BAMX. Okay, and transition, it's where this ULO point. Okay, so okay, well, ULO point, and that's it. Shouldn't be, or no? ULO like this one, perfect. Now, what is the procedure? This is the step climb. Okay, so we have to go to flight level 380. Right now, when we have into point, I put 10 nautical miles. This is just for the situational awareness. Okay, so that's okay. And if you're a professional pilot, so if you look at the chart briefly, you have the VOR. So I will suggest to you to put the VOR frequency, because you may not. It's the holding pattern of the VOR. Climb straight ahead to Alsac point, then turning 3000 feet to the left VOR, climbing 5000. So anyway, if something happens, we have hard tuning of VOR, so TOR, Tango Oscar Romeo, Tango Oscar Romeo, and we put it here. We put as well here in order to have the DME distances and needle where are we going to go. Okay, so that's it. That's the first part. The second part, it's mainly as we are on Airbus, it's okay this way, and just to check Sandefjord Sierra Foxtrot Yankee, which is 110.905, it's okay, and glide slope match our conditions, 3 degrees of glide path, that's perfect, and front course it's 355, 355, it's okay. You have to check it. Then we have to check that we have holding time available for 30 minutes, that's quite okay, that's quite perfect, and basically that's it. And what we have to do is fill the performance page. We have descent, we have approach, and our minimums are according to category C 590, so that's okay. And as we are climbing to 5000 feet, we can make it like 3000 feet of acceleration altitude, 3000 feet as well, and 3000 over here. That's perfect. And right now, what is important? Final approach point, it's 9, and we have 3000 feet into the catch the glide slope. Okay, that's basically okay. We have briefed miss approach, and right now we checked the med report. Okay, so 3406 knots. And we have -7 degrees of centigrade, so that's why we have to add the cold temperature, but basically in real life we are not doing so. Up to -10 degrees of centigrade, it doesn't make sense. Okay, but somehow we have to do it. Okay, so well, this is prepared. As you can see, we already passed the waypoint, which was 380, and it doesn't make sense because shortly we are going to descend, so it makes no sense. Okay, what I will to point out right now, it's just the arrival. Bamix 7 Sierra, and as we can see, Trita, here we have to be between flight level 110 and 4000, and here we have 3000 feet. That's basically okay, and transition level is 70, QNH is above, so flight level 80 should be quite okay for us. So now we are basically fully prepared, but what we need to check is the ground chart, okay? And with the ground chart, as you can see, we have 2990 meters long. Now you are asking why I'm not using, because my flight limitation, it's for example 10 knots of tailwind, and it's long runway, it's dry runway, because of my experience, okay? So I will prefer runway 36. So runway is quite long enough. We are making with the crosswind component, so auto brake on low, and basically that's it. So okay, so 1017. In order to, let's say, for situational awareness, we have Manic 7 Tango. In case of shortcut, we can make a Lula point. And now we can see that we have bearing and distance to this waypoint, but the Boeing 737 is a little bit smarter machine because it shows you the vertical speed, okay, in order to reach the waypoint. So you don't need to calculate it by your brain. In real life, we are starting to decelerate 20 nautical miles prior to the top of the descent point, okay? So we should start it right now, okay? So I will put, as you can see, we have to be flight level 110 at or below. So and now we can start it to decelerate and to descend. And as we are making the ILS approach, landing system should be put on. Okay, in real life now what we have to check right now, it's if the gross weight within the landing correspond to our performance limited landing weight. Okay, but as far as I know from the NOTAMs, which is on official sites, the runway should be dry, it's okay, and 3000 meters of the runway length, it's quite okay, so I'm not worried about the situation. And as you can see, the temperature is rising, okay, minus 45. And I suggest below flight level 200 the temperature will be just dropping down. Uh, I would like to say that the desktop flight simulators like P3D or X-Plane 11, X-Plane 12 or Microsoft Flight Simulators are very well modeled, and it's quite perfect, and for 90% of the persons are very enjoyable because of the beautiful graphics. As you can see right now, it's really what you would like to see, but for the professional pilot point of view, it's just the simulator in order to memorize the standard operation procedures which are using in multi-crew cooperation. So, for example, I will start in some airport and I will study my standard operational procedures, and then when I have it in somewhere in my brain, I'm good to go to full flight simulator on or to the line training, whatever you would like to do so. So basically that's it, because in the first time it's for SOPs, okay, and the second thing it's the complexity and let's say deep in the systems, or some kind of people tells a study level, okay. None of the flight simulators, none of the 3D parties of the developers of, for example, Boeing or Airbus are not study leveled, okay. Well, it's good to know. Many of them are within 80% perfect from real flight simulator, but I take it just to memorize my procedures, what I have to do, what I will do, and what I did wrong, and so on and so on. So well, that's my personal opinion, and and that's it. So that's the situation on the market, okay. So do not take it as serious, okay. If you would like to become a professional pilot, just memorize your standard operational procedures, and that's it, okay. Because Phoenix have some bugs, Tolis has some bugs, Zibo has some bugs, PMDG have some bugs, okay, and it works slightly different that from real operational procedures and regarding to the systems, for example, okay. But it's absolutely perfect when you would like to be a professional pilot. Just learn the SOPs on the flight simulator and that's it. So that brings you on the right way how to perform the situation. Okay, so anyway, we have flight level 200, so we'll put the cabin crew in order to let them advise that we are preparing for landing. And as I can see on the here, yeah, we have wrong number. Okay. Another thing what I would like to point out that Airbus or let's say for the Airbus pilot sitting for first officer and captain, it's much more higher than in Boeing 737 to compare these airplanes. So the flare and the closing the thrust levers are in the different radio at altitudes. Okay, so for example, if you are flying the Boeing in real ops, you are closing the thrust levers and 10 knots. Okay, I don't know how it is with the Airbus, but on Boeing 737, if you wish and if you would like to perform the correct landing, it's the problem because if you're closing the thrust levers within 50 feet, I can guarantee you that you have hard landing, and the G limit was over the 2. So that means that the undercarriage has go to the boroscopy, or let's say to replace something. Okay, so we have outer tank fuel crossfeed. So we'll look at this page, and as you can see right now, we are suck the fuel from the outer tank. In Boeing 737 it's slightly different situation, in some Airbuses as well. some Airbuses are making back fuel into the center tank, then right here. But this is for another discussion. This is more deep into the technical side of the view, because when you are flying in real life, you have to realize a few things, and that's the zero fuel weight. So, for example, if you look at this page, if you have or let's say, if you suck the fuel from the main wind tanks much more quicker than from main tanks, much more quicker than from center tank, it realizes the bending moment of the wing. That's why the zero fuel weight it's presented on the charts. Okay, so, and that's why we have to first get rid of this tank, and then we have to get rid of the main tanks. Okay, so we are approaching flight level 100, so put the lights to on position, and now we can go to, we have 3,900 feet MSA, so 3,900. If you don't know what is the MSA, the MSA is the minimum safe altitude, which is depicted from the airport reference point, and it's within 25 nautical miles. If you are dividing, it's called minimum sector altitude. Okay, so from this sector, if we have, for example, the lines are right over here, so we have minimum sector altitude. So that's the difference. So once again, in order to get rid of the bending moment of the wind, we have the zero fuel weight definition, and first of all, we would like to get rid of the center tank fuel, and then from the wings, in order to get rid of the bending moment of the wings. And that's basically it. So I'll put it back. And what we have to check right now, as I saw on NOTAMs, taxiway Bravo and Yankee, north of the apron closed, de-icing. Okay. Okay, so we have taxiway Bravo, we have taxiway Yankee, and north of this was closed, so that's okay. So we'll vacate the runway via Whiskey 2 or Whiskey 1. We'll see how it looks like later on. Okay. Okay, so we are below flight level 80. Anyway, I forget to put when you are putting the altitude, not flight level, you have to press the standard. You have to press the QNH. Okay, so that was I forget about to switch when I switched to MSA. So that's why we have this situation. So once you press the altitude, which is related to QNH, you have to press the QNH as well. Okay. And that's why on Boeing 737 and Airbus we have the alerting system. If you are below the transition level, it will automatically shine up, and we will see that we are not in correct position. Okay, so check the snow temps. According to the new regulations, the snow temps, it's no more depicted like in Monte format. Okay, there is no snow tam, so runway should be clear enough. Okay, so we can go to 3000 feet. Sorry, I was wrong. If we are coming from the south, so that means that we are vacating runway. We'll make a backtrack and vacating runway via Whiskey 3. Okay. Okay, so we have some turbulence presented right over here. ILS runway 36, so once again. Okay, so we can make it via activate the approach phase. It's perfect, and we will slow down a little bit to flaps up speed into the green band. Do not overshoot it. And right now we'll leave it with 300 feet approximately, and we are at 12 nautical miles to go, so flaps 1, and we can go to indicated airspeed 190. Okay, so we put a localizer. We have localizer captured, approach mode. And as you said, 5,000 feet was his approach altitude. Okay, flaps 2, and we can go down speed 170 indicated. So we can go to 160. Okay, so we have glide slope captured. Arm the speed brakes. Gear down, flaps 3. And 5,000 as his approach altitude. Oh, it's a little bit bumpy. Okay, so we have 20 knots of the headwind component, and according to ACARS only 4 knots, so that will be okay. Okay, so we can put the main speed and flaps to full. And as you can see, the snowy runway, okay, this is not real conditions, because I will pick up the med reports and long towers and snow thumbs from the official sites, which I have the access, and this is not true. Okay, but so in this case we may realize that there is something on the runway, so we can put the auto brake to medium and reconsider it ourselves to do so. Okay, so autopilot disengaged. Okay, so I don't see the puppies. Minimum is landing. This is the display's threshold. Okay, we have to be a little bit higher above, and now we are okay when we are perfect.
40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Okay. Okay, 18 knots, perfect closing thrust levers, press manual braking, and that's okay so far. So I will stop the airplane and we will turn the airplane and look on the outside view how we made it. Okay, so now we are turning back to the backtrack for runway 36. Okay, now we can put the flight directors switches off, and as you can see we have the hot brakes, which will be hardly in this temperature, but anyway it should happen when I make the video from the landing. So we put the brake fan cooling, it's basically no problem, and we can stop the speed brakes. What is important? Important is to reset a rudder trim before you're turning off the engines, okay? Okay, weather radar off, terrain off. It's quite okay, we may start the APU. Can check the charts. Well, whiskey 3, which is this one. So we can switch off the VOR as well, stop the flight time. Okay, so the transponder switch on TRA, sorry. And switch the lights into taxi position, strobe lights as well. And now we have to turn somewhere over here, and here should be some parking place for us. I don't know which one it is. If you have snowy runway, what is the procedure if you have snow on the runway? We don't have it, okay? But the procedure is to leave the flap setting like it is, okay? So I will retract it right now. And then we will make flap retractions after the exterior inspection is completed and there is no snow contaminates between leading edge device and the wing. Okay. So whiskey 2, it's like this one. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, now we can put the APU bleed to on position. And for example, we pick up this tent, okay? So, all lights coming off in order not to shine the personnel. Okay, now we can stop the airplane, set the parking brakes, and as the APU it's okay, so we may shut off the engines, stop the block time immediately, release the passengers, and crew supply IRS is to off position. Beacon lights when 10% of N1 it's and below. And now we can switch off the fuel pumps, and basically that's it. So we are good, and now we can perform the deboard and ground services. We don't have the jetways, so that means that doors 1, 2, stairs, and this compartment. And now the deboarding should start, but I don't know why. Yeah, it started, okay. Well, that's perfect. So we are safely on the ground. So we can switch the transponder to standby 2000 and switch the ground, switch the GSC and predictive wind shear, and switch the brake fan, okay, in order to not harm the personnel. Now, what do you have to do? If the disembarkation is completed, cabin crew will come, but anyway, we have to perform the walk around, and just to ensure that we have no contaminated from snow between leading edge devices. So ground services, we have GPUs chokes. Once we have chokes, we can switch on the switch off the parking brake in order to let the wheel well. As you can see, we have quite much of temperature. Well, okay, I don't know why, okay, but this shouldn't be switched on the ground, so we have to be delayed on the takeoff. And now we perform the walk around, and once the walk around is completed and there is no snow contaminated on the leading edge devices and wing, we can perform the procedure. I need to find it once again because I don't have it. Let me check it. Okay, so this is not this one. Okay, so I've got it, winter checklist. What is written in checklist? It's that we have to use the yellow electric pump press button to on. So yellow electric pump, in on position. Okay, another switch is blue pump override position, blue electric pump push button switch to auto position. It's on auto position, so basically that's it. And slots blue pump override push button, and this is things that it's correlated here. Okay, and now we are good to go, and we can stow the flaps. Okay. As you can see, the flaps are retracted, okay? And now it's okay. So, when this is completed, again, with the steps, yellow pump, into on position, then into off position, blue pump override back, so it's this one, and basically that's it, and we are good to go for another flight. I know it was a little bit hard, and it was completely hard for me as I'm not Airbus pilot. I hope you like this video, and see you next time soon. Have a safe flights. Bye bye.